Hello everyone, welcome to my videos. Myself Ashwin Nayak. From today, let us start ninth standard social science. In the political science part, the chapter second, chapter name is the Union Government. So in this chapter, we have to study in our previous class. So what we have studied, once again, I told you that. So what we have remaining to studying in our previous class. Okay, first of all, the union government. The power of the nation are divided between the center and then state. The central government has been given more power in the view of the unity, security of the nation and then during that emergency. It exercises the power through the legislature, executive, and then judiciary power. And then the union legislative, it means that parliament. So the parliament houses has divided into the two parts. The India has adopted the parliamentary system of government. And the union legislative is called the parliament. The Parliament, the Article 79 provide for the creations of Parliament. The Parliament consists of the two houses. One, the upper house is called the Rajya Sabha and the lower house is called the Lok Sabha. And then in our previous class, in the formations of this Rajya Sabha and the terms and office of this Rajya Sabha and then the qualifications of this Rajya Sabha. So these are all also we have to study in our previous class. And then second houses, the Lok Sabha. So in this Lok Sabha formation and then terms and office of this Lok Sabha and then what was the qualifications of these members of Lok Sabha houses. And other than the power of the function to the Lok Sabha speaker. So what was the power and functions to the Lok Sabha speakers? So this is also we have to already done for studying this concept. And then so what was the role of opposition leaders in the parliament? So this is also finished. And then the power and functions of this parliament. So what was the power and functions of this parliament? Okay, look at these points, the 5 points we have to study in our previous class also. And the next, the union executive, it means the president. So Ramnath Kovind, he was the present president in our India. So and then so what was the president formation? So how did the elections of this president and then what was the qualifications of the president? So these are all also we have to study in our previous class. And then the power and the power of the president. So what was the power of the president? So this is also we have to study in our previous class. And then next, and that today we have to study that concept is prime minister. So we have to know the prime minister. The constitution has provide for a council of this minister with the prime minister. So prime minister, it is the head of assistant and advise the president in the administrations of the country. The still it is the prime minister who has the real power that carry out the administration. The president is the head of the country, wherever the prime minister is the head of the government. Okay, look carefully, student. The president is the head of the country, where the prime minister is the head of that government, the state government. He remains in office as long as to the enjoy the trust of this Lok Sabha. So this is the function and formations of this prime minister. So at that Indian prime minister is, who is the prime minister of India? Yes, Narendra Modi. So this is the formations of this prime minister. And then at the present, the Indian Prime Minister is the Narendra Modi. Yeah. And let us see, we have to study in the power of Prime Minister. So what was the power of Prime Minister? Okay, the first of all, the first point, the appointment and removal ministers and allocations of the portfolios. So these are all the power of Prime Minister. Okay, look at the appoint and removal of these ministers. The first point, the Prime Minister recommends to the President and appoints of ministers to the Council of Ministers. He has to power to the appointing and recommends to the presidents to appoint the ministers of this Council of Ministries. And he also allocates the various the portfolios among that ministers. And then his decisions is final in the allocations of the portfolios. So this is also the power of this appointment, removal of this minister and the allocations of this the portfolios. And the next power, he was the head of the government. The prime minister is responsible for all the actions of this government, and then the coordinates the activities of the various ministries, and then he takes the greater interest in framing the policies related to planning, defense and foreign affairs. Yeah, and then he was to greater interest in the framing to the policies of related to that, the planning of defense and then foreign policies. This is also the head of this government to take the power of this prime minister. And then next, the another one power of this prime minister is the head of union cabinet. In the meeting of Union Cabinet are held under the chairmanship of Prime Minister, and all discussions of issues of national and international, the importance are discussed and decisions are taken the under of chairmanship. He is the link between the president and then cabinet. So this is the power of president. And then okay, look at this image. So after that Indian independence, so who are all the prime ministers of in our India? And then next, the union cabinet. The cabinet is the real executive and has ministries is the two the hierarchies. The first, the one of the cabinet level, and the second is the ministry of the state. The maximum strength of the union cabinet is the 15% of the total strength of the parliament. And then the cabinet has the two kinds of these responsibilities. The one is the minister of every department is responsible for this administration for his department, and then he has individual responsibility for the success or failure of this department. And then the union cabinet has collective responsibility to the parliament with regard to the decision and then policies taken by it. The cabinet can be the power only as along it enjoying the trust of the parliament. So and then when it is lost the trust, it removal by the non-confidence to that the motion. So these are all were the functions and how did the formations of this cabinet and then what was his responsibility to the prime minister. So these are all informations in the power of this prime minister. Okay, so totally in this chapter is closed. Thank you for watching this videos.